Hey there, it's Jamie. First off, I just wanted to say thank you for listening to the Forever Game podcast. It means a lot to Tyler and I, and we hope that you're learning some things along the way with us. It's always been our goal for this thing. So today's episode is with Erin Hannick, and Erin is the founder of Urban Escape Boutique in Spicer, a incredibly cute place that I've spent a lot of time and money over the past few years. But actually, Erin's journey of starting her store is pretty interesting and one that I'd never heard before. So it was a great conversation where we talked about all kinds of things involving entrepreneurship and lessons learned, the struggles, the highs and lows, and building her business into what it's become today. And even we got into a little bit of talk about the most recent COVID events and how that's impacted things for her. But just listening to the podcast, you'll hear how much of a kind person Erin is and how big of a heart she has for what she's doing and the people she's doing it with. So without further ado, enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of the Forever Game podcast, and today we're sitting right next to Green Lake. No, I didn't buy any property, but we're here with Erin of Urban Escape.
Park.
Right, the public park. I suppose I sort of, well, I don't live here, so I'm really freeloading.
Maybe pitch a tent.
Right. Just stay in those really nice restroom outhouses right there. But anyway, we are sitting just at the what my kids call the Castle Park, and we're here with Erin of Urban Escape, and of course Jamie's here too, and we're just going to hear a little bit about you, Erin, and the business and how it's going and how the last 60 days have been, 90 days and stuff like that. So why don't you talk just a little bit about like your new space, well, relatively new space, like when you guys decided to get in there because you were in a smaller space.
Yep.
It's still in Spicer.
So let's see, it's been 2 years now that we've been in the new building. So I was in the small space that O'Neill's owns that was like 900 square feet. So then I purchased the building down the block, and our floor space now is like probably 3,500 square feet.
Wow.
So it's
massive.
Like massive, yeah. But we love it. I love that it's not just so, there's room for kids to run around.
Sure.
I feel totally comfortable having kids in there.
Right.
Yeah. We have events that are super fun. Now we're supposed to stand 6 feet from each other, so there's plenty of room for that.
Right.
Room for social distancing.
Yeah.
Because it was marketing concepts that was in that space.
It was. So we had to renovate
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we had to renovate the whole store has been renovated.
Got it.
And kind of the whole first floor kind of adjusted. Like, we added the doors on the Hampton Inn side, the double doors, so that goes now into that other space that WYSIWYG has. But yeah.
You guys like it?
Yeah.
Love it.
And you're probably really
Love it.
happy you're not in 900 square feet right now.
Yeah. Well, and it was so funny because, we loved it. And my girls that work for me, we're all pretty close. And so there'd be like 4 of us behind the desk trying to do things while we're like helping customers, marking product. And we're like, someday we'll have a big space,
Sure.
but we'll miss this also, being so close together.
Right.
The everyday like bumping into each other.
Yeah.
When did you first hear about, like, what was your reaction when you heard that place they were up, like, to move? I don't know if you talked with Diane or Chris Buzzio or how that worked.
When I kind of
heard about it.
Okay. Let's see. I just remember seeing a for sale sign up.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I had actually been thinking about purchasing, Marty Carlson had a building on that frontage road.
Right.
I had actually kind of been thinking of purchasing that so that we would just have like a good photo area and a place for inventory and office space, just because like we couldn't even have extra inventory at this place. It was all on the floor. There was there was no back room.
So 100% on the floor.
And we would like sometimes even have to sit in the bathroom if we wanted to get away and eat in the winter. Like there was no back room.
Right.
We had a little tiny closet.
That's multitasking. Really.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
So I saw that it was for sale. So I was going to purchase or thought of purchasing Marty Carlson's building. I'm a big dreamer, so I'm always like, okay, what are we gonna do next? You know?
Yep.
That didn't really pan out, or I don't know. I didn't love the idea of having to drive product back and forth and stuff.
Right.
And then I noticed one day that Marketing Concepts was for sale, and I thought, oh, that's a good spot. We could stay downtown, you know.
Sure.
Everything would be in one building. At this point, I had never taken out any business loans for my business at all. I had started all my business making my own stuff handmade and just kept putting money back into my business. So even when I opened this business, or in 2014 when I opened InSpicer, that was just all from money that I had made in Hutchinson at the boutique in Hutchinson.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I've never asked for a business loan. This is scary.
Right.
Where do I
Big
go? Who do I
purchase.
talk
I went
to?
from like, you know, no business loans to now I want to buy a huge building.
Right.
One big jump.
Yeah. But no, it was kind of scary for me because I didn't know, and I didn't know what people would think of me doing that.
Sure.
I don't know. So I went over and talked to Jane Vixie, who was the real estate agent on the building,
Got it.
and she was for it. You know, she's like, yeah, you need a bigger space. So she was super excited about it. So I was like, okay, this sounds like a good idea. And then, you know, talked to a few bankers, and
Sure.
yeah, I ended up at a little shout out to Granite Bank that's just across the street. Michael Schmid, he is my banker, and he's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
He always made me feel super comfortable. Like, you can do this. We'll figure out a way, you know. So
And he was like kind of like a consultant too,
yeah,
right?
yep. And then we had the SBA involved, and so I met with the SBA many times, and so it was a good experience working with them. But
Right.
I think we should back up a few more years.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to hear like how the original version of Urban Escape started and where that idea came from for you. Because I know we're probably talking 8 years ago now.
So
when the Hutchinson side of things.
Hutchinson, I opened in 2011.
Okay.
So almost 10 years.
Wow.
But it actually started probably 2 years before that.
Okay.
I was making my own handmade jewelry and selling, and little crafty things.
Sure.
And selling it on Etsy. I had a blog. And then I rented a space in New London at a boutique. So it was like probably smaller than this picnic table.
Sure. Yeah.
And then so I just paid her a monthly fee, and then I worked every Saturday for her.
Okay.
And then that was a good way to like see people interacting with the product. What do they want more of? So that was super fun.
You're talking like necklaces, earrings.
Yep. So I
type of
did
stuff?
like, it was so, and then at that time I called it Vintage Glam. My jewelry line was called Vintage Glam. So it was like vintage inspired jewelry. I made these little resin, a lot of inspirational pieces that just had positive words and stuff on it.
Sure.
And then I was working at Unity Stamp Company at the time, and so I was on their design team. So I was crafting little things with stamps with them, and so I would sell some of that stuff too. But yeah, so that's really how it started.
Wow.
And then I ended up in Hutchinson because the investor for Unity Stamp Company owned the mall in Hutchinson.
Got
And
it.
so he knew that my dreams was to someday open up my own shop.
Right.
And so he had the mall, there was a space open, and he had given me an awesome opportunity. I had no money saved up for it.
Sure.
But he gave me a really good deal on my rent. It was a tiny space, 700 square feet. I was like, I have to do this. If I don't, I'll always wonder,
Yeah.
like, what if, you know?
Right.
So that was 2011, April of 2011, that I opened that. And I started out consignment, basically.
Yep.
Making my own things, and then I invited other artists to come in, create their, sell their items, because I had no money for inventory.
Yeah, it's less risk.
Yeah. So
Did you have to sign a lease for any extended period of time?
I did for 5 years.
Okay.
Yep.
That had to be a little bit scary.
Yeah, but he had done 2 years free rent.
Wow.
The next 2 years were still what I thought a good
pretty
deal.
good price.
Yeah, and then the fifth year was a little bit more.
Sure.
But I was like, I have to.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Super
And
easy entry.
Yeah.
Can I ask about when you still had a full-time job, but yet you have this thing percolating? Did you have like what I would call for myself like the double guilt, where you're at work, but sometimes part of your brain was thinking about your thing, and then like you felt guilty like both ways? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of the stuff was actually, I learned a lot of like how I wanted to, run my business, my blog photos and stuff. Like I learned all that while I was working at Unity marketing. I loved how she marketed things.
Sure.
And so when I would go home at night and work on design team projects, that was actually for Unity too, but also for my personal.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You're building skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. There was a lot of overlap then. Big time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you.
So how'd those 5 years go?
In Hutchinson?
Yeah.
It was good. I learned right away that it is my job to get people into my store. So I learned that right away. Like, it was a mall that didn't have a lot of traffic. And so, you know, like, you can't just sit there and think, oh, people are going to, I'm open. Come visit me.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking like Hutchinson, you're still talking smaller towns.
Yeah, and I didn't know anyone in Hutchinson. Like,
did you live in Spicer?
I lived here and drove back and forth. Because
Okay.
at the time, there was no place in Spicer to rent. Fun little, this is kind of going back even more. But I used to sit, do you remember when O'Neill's had 3 spots in that?
Yep.
3 individual spots where
Yep.
it's now the one space. I used to sit in there and get my hair done and tell my hairstylist that someday I want to own my own boutique and I want it to be right here.
Sure.
And so when they redid it, and then Michelle, John and I had talked about me renting it, I was like, this is like literally a dream come true
Right.
to have this as my spot. But so I started in Hutchinson just to start because it was an opportunity,
Yeah.
but I always had the vision of being in Spicer.
Right.
Sure.
So yeah, I drove back and forth a lot, a lot of time in the car. I was mall hours. I was doing 7 days a week.
Wow.
But yeah, I learned.
All on your own.
Yep.
Too, I imagine
Yeah.
you didn't have
Yep.
part-timers or anything like that.
I was like, I can't hire anyone. I don't even know how to run this myself. How am I going to tell anyone else what to do?
Yep.
Right.
Um,
Gosh, those were like the Melvin's glory years too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss those.
yeah.
I figured that was coming up.
Well,
Like
we're
at
here
some point we had to
like-
talk about
yeah.
Melvin.
Yeah. So, but no, I learned right away that marketing was very essential and social media. So Facebook was just like out at that time.
Right.
I didn't have Instagram. I don't think I had a phone that I could use Instagram on when Instagram came out.
Sure. Yeah. Which
So
was
I didn't get to use Instagram until after I had opened. But Facebook worked really well for me. And
how did
so-
you use it?
So, and then I had a blog, and I also had a little bit of a following from Unity Stamp. And then Angela was super good about kind of her followers, you know, sharing that I had opened up my own business. Go follow Erin. Super supportive. Yeah. Yep. So that was, you know, just to gain those followers in its own was really nice.
That helped.
Yeah. Yep. And then I would do different Facebook things. I remember, so at the time I was called Vintage Glam.
Yep.
I would do these, when I really needed cash flow, I would do these hot glam sales, I would call them. And so I would announce it, and then I would post all these pictures, and the first person that commented would get that item. But I pumped it up beforehand,
Yeah.
so everyone
Yeah.
was like waiting for them to post.
Sure.
Immediate.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that, just helped getting people on my page and other
Yep.
people talking about it.
And this was all yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Are you a planner? Did you like plan these things out, or is it like, oh shit, I need?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not a planner. I work much better under pressure.
Yeah.
Got
Like
it.
crunch time.
We need cash flow here.
Here we go. Let's come up with something creative. Let's immediately execute.
Payroll is next week.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yep.
So when did the time come that you had the Hutch location and then you decided to do Spicer as well?
Yep. So 2011 I opened in Hutchinson. 2014 I opened in Spicer.
Okay.
And so then Hutchinson I closed a little bit earlier before my lease ended. But the mall had also changed ownership and was just different. It
Sure.
was different. It wasn't owned by local people anymore.
Oh.
And so, but I almost made it 5 years. I still paid
Yeah.
my rent, but
Yeah.
but this Spicer.
But at that point, this one had to have been like,
yeah,
building.
like this community is so amazing. Like,
Right.
and I had so many people that were like, "Oh yeah, summer you'll be fine, but the winter is going to be a struggle." I mean,
Not true.
no, two of my biggest months are November and December.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I've always just been so grateful for the community.
oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's been amazing.
And
Yeah.
were there any? Was that when the name? When you?
So then that's when I changed the name.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let's talk about the name.
yeah. So Vintage Glam worked great in the beginning. I was, repurposing things. But then once I started purchasing wholesale items and getting new items in, and then there was a point where I no longer was doing consignment anymore either. I just wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
And I had also discovered that what people want in Hutchinson was clothing. And so I had gotten some clothing pieces in, and they like sold in a day or
okay.
two.
Yeah, it's hard to
like,
have scale when you're
Yeah,
consignment.
so it was hard. And it was a lot of work too.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I started kind of moving out of the consignment business and getting most all of my own product in. And so then, nothing was really vintage anymore, but I still had people coming in for vintage things. And I was like, I'm going to have to change this. Yeah. And then when I was like, I'm going to open in Spice, I'm like, that's the perfect opportunity.
For sure.
Right.
And so then I wanted a name that was kind of more like, I can grow into anything with it.
Yeah.
I can grow into home decor, I could grow into kids, I could grow into, anything with just a more general name.
Yep.
Right.
And so that's when Urban Escape,
How'd
it's
you come
not
up with the
easy
name?
to come up with a business
No,
name.
that's why I'm asking.
It was like months in the making,
Sure.
many like pieces of paper with different words and,
Yep.
all this. But my tagline for Urban Escape is for a place to come, escape, and leave behind our day-to-day chaotic life, something like that.
Sure.
I want my boutique to be a place where people just feel good and like they can leave feeling good, and they don't necessarily have to come in to shop, but if they're just having a bad day, maybe they just need to get out.
Yep.
I want Urban Escape to be a place for them to come and just kind of escape, look around, maybe leave feeling inspired.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that name came about.
That's very
Yeah.
fitting.
Yeah.
Because
And-
that is the experience I get
Good.
as a customer
that
when I'm
makes
there.
me so
But-
happy.
And
yeah.
it's so interesting because as a guy and a very basic, stereotypical guy that I am, like when I'm gonna buy something, 90% of the time, like I've researched the crap out of it. I know exactly what it is. I just run in. It's transactional. I run in and buy something and leave. But for my wife,
Yeah.
it's an activity. It
Yes.
is an escape for her. It's a mini vacation.
It's an experience.
Yep.
Women love shopping. It's like for something to do.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
Therapeutic.
It's
for her.
mentally stimulating, but like not really all at the same time.
Yeah. No. She
Yeah.
just she.
Like you don't have to really think about
Yeah.
anything. But you can definitely leave feeling good and inspired, or
Yeah.
She looks lighter when she walks out of Target. Or like,
She's
you know what I
Retail
mean?
floating.
therapy.
Yeah.
Retail
She's
therapy is
floating.
a thing. Yeah.
It is really interesting because I've watched her. Like I'm dragging 3 kids around the toy section, and I see her, and she's just floating, like
Yeah.
looking at things and
It's just
sipping
a
on
state
her
of
coffee.
being. Yes.
Yeah, and so that's
Yeah.
that's really cool. And the name too is like, to me, I always interpreted it a little bit too as like a little taste of urban style, a little fresh,
Yeah.
but yet we're in a rural area,
Yep.
and so that's
Yep.
kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So these days, kind of bring it back to where we are now. You've got a full team of people, a full Urban Escape team. What did that process of growing and scaling and
Tell us about your first hire, and
Yeah.
what that was like.
how did you know you needed more help, and
Yeah.
how complicated
Yeah.
was that?
So that would have been in Hutchinson. I feel like my business has also been a spiritual process, because you have to like,
Self-discovery.
yeah, and like you just have to believe like it's all going to work out how it's supposed to sometimes. And I
Sure.
remember driving to Hutchinson one day, and I was exhausted. I'd been doing 7 days a week myself, mall hours. They let me close at 8 p.m., but I was still there. I had to open at 10, be there till 8 p.m.
Wow.
Drive an hour there, drive an hour home. And some nights I would stay later just to finish things up or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Right.
And so I was driving to Hutchinson, and I was like, I was exhausted, and I was tired, and I was like, I'm going to get sick. And I just feel like I
Yep.
had this voice, and it was, you need to ask for help. And
Yeah.
so one of the girls that did consignment for me, she had been offering to help out. So then I had her start working Sundays so that I would at least have
A day of
Sundays off.
rest.
Yeah, a day of rest.
You're
Yeah.
like, thank you.
Yeah.
Angel.
Yeah, and so she kind of knew the store anyway because she had her product in there. She was passionate about it because her product was in there.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that,
So that was pretty easy, though.
yeah.
An easy,
that one was.
easy
Yeah,
transition.
Yeah.
It's funny because knowing the Happy Soul Girls a little bit too, that was the same way how they hired people, as they had people that loved being in the store.
Yeah.
That just said, I'll just volunteer if I can just be in here. And then that's just
So
how they
sweet.
ended up
Yeah.
hiring people.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and then like, Bailey's been with me probably like 6 years now.
Wow.
She is one of my best friends from high school's niece.
Got
Okay.
it.
So, and then obviously Bailey and Coral are sisters. So
Right.
that's how Bailey had started working for for me, and that's obviously been.
They started part-time and evolved
Yeah.
into a full-time position.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what does the Urban Escape team, who's all on it these days as far as full-time, part-time?
So they're all, right now during the summertime, close to full-time, but Bailey's full-time and Coral, and then I've Maddie and Chloe, and then me. So there's 5 of us.
Okay. And did you hire based on skill sets that you needed? Like what part of the what part of the job do you love, and then how did you backfill the rest of it?
I actually hire based on more on like personality and how they're going to click with us.
Okay.
Because I don't do drama, and with all girls, like it can get dramatic, there can be drama.
High emotions.
Yeah. So I
lots of passion.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, lots of
really
passion.
been hanging around.
So I really hired based more on personality.
Yeah.
On who I thought would like fit well.
You don't want to ruin the
together.
chemistry of the
Right,
team.
and we have such a good energy, and I feel like that is a thing too. Like, our energy that we have, the energy we put into the product, the fact that the girls love coming to work, like,
Right.
makes my heart so happy because it is my, my little baby and my passion. And so, it was more based on like personality and clicking. Like Bailey was still in was she still in high school when she started? Yeah, she was still in high school when she started. So
Sure.
and then she went into photography. So I was like, well, this is perfect.
A natural fit.
Yeah. So she does the photography.
She does an amazing job.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
How much? When did because you guys produce a lot of content between photos and everything.
Yeah.
Was that something that you were always doing from the beginning, or when did you realize what, we would need to kind of scale that up too, along with just the store stuff?
I was always doing that.
Yeah.
In the beginning I was actually blogging a lot too.
Right.
So I just knew that was important to always have that information out there. Otherwise people aren't going to know,
Yeah.
and if we get something new in and I don't tell anyone, how are they going to know to come in and get it, And so, and excitement, I like having excitement around everything. And so as long as I would post something, make a big deal about it, there was all this excitement all the time. And so that's just continued on.
Right.
But yeah, I love marketing. I have a degree in marketing. And so that's my passion.
Right.
It comes pretty natural, I think, to us.
Yeah.
Especially when you love what you're doing.
Yeah. So right now, Bailey's doing the professional photos for the website and stuff. I'll still snap, flat lays and mannequin things and whatever. We just mesh well together.
Sure.
We have the same style, so it's not like I don't have to
Things look entirely different when
Yeah.
one does it versus the other.
Yeah.
You've been together long enough where you just kind of all get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's ideal
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm really lucky.
So, when did you first realize that this COVID thing was going to be a U.S. problem? When I first heard about it in maybe January, I was like, oh, that's something that happens in other places. That's
Right.
not a thing that
Yeah.
we in the United States, and especially in Minnesota,
Yeah.
it won't affect
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
When did you realize, oh shit, this might be a
Gonna
thing?
entirely impact.
Right.
And the scary heaviness of
Yeah, it was heavy.
Yeah.
That is a good way to put it. I guess the beginning of March.
Yeah.
So we closed March 18th. But I remember talking to the girls a week or two before that and thinking, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to employ you. That even makes me want to cry.
yeah.
Totally.
I love, I want to be able,
They're like your children.
Yeah, and I'm their source of income, and
Right.
Yeah.
and so I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. What are we going to do? But we're all optimistic too, where we're like, we'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
We'll do it online. We do well online anyway. We'll figure out a way. And so, we were all super optimistic about it, and the girls too were like, well, it's not, if something happens, it's not like it's your fault, that this isn't going to work or whatever.
Yeah.
But you didn't care about whose fault it was. You just cared about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to still, and then it was summer coming up and they're coming home from college. And,
Yeah.
Right.
So.
So you guys shut down. Did you have a plan after that? Was it just okay, well, I guess we're 100% online. We're just going to focus on that?
Yeah, just focus online. I feel like I had a week or two where I was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Sure.
Like I felt like I was in a black hole. And I was like, I'm just going to walk around. I was like, I was always just walking around town. Like,
There's Erin again.
She's just clearing her head. She's trying to figure this out.
Erin, are you lost your stores that
How do we
way?
solve this global pandemic?
But yeah, so.
Well, you had to pull everything back onto your plate, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
And then,
so I didn't have the girls come in at all during that time. So, and then, although we did, when they were still there, we did come up with a plan like every day. Okay, so we're online only. We would come up with like different plans for each day of the week and like, okay, what are we going to focus on? And we kind of ripped the store apart and put it into like, okay, this is like, you're going on spring break stuff. So we're going to have a spring break collection
Got it.
that we'll all put together. And, you know, we came up with some different ideas like that.
yeah.
But then, yeah, after a while, then it was just me doing everything. You know, I was up at 7 a.m. working till 10 p.m. at night, doing all the
Right.
photos myself, taking pictures of myself with a little
Yep.
clicker and whatever. And as much as I loved it, like I like burnt myself out. And then there was like a week where I was like, I can't even do anything anymore because I burnt myself out so bad. I was like, once the girls come back, I'm going to take a vacation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just optimistic. I went and talked to my banker right away. He was amazing. So they helped me with my loan payments. I have an SBA loan. They were amazing with that. So I'm super grateful for my banker because without him too, I would have been a mess.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
where are you guys now in like the phase of? Are you guys full open, or what's the
So
current state?
I did change our hours a little bit. Not necessarily because of COVID, but just more of what I think
What made
would
sense
work.
based
yeah,
on
what
season?
makes sense. Normally in July we're open 7 days a week, and we're only open Tuesday through Saturday,
Okay.
and then we close at 4:00 every day that we're open, except for on Thursdays we stay open till 6.
Got it.
And it's been awesome. The days
great.
Sunday, the days that we're closed, we're making up for on Saturday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Got it.
So people
People
just
just
know to
pivot
come
their
in
stuff.
on a different day, you know? And then the girls, we close at 4. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all like, we get to go out and like enjoy the evening and do things.
been a
like
great
2
summer.
hours
Yeah.
is a lot. So, and then they come in earlier because we have more online orders to process, and so we want those all done before we open. Our inventory is the same on our floor right now as it is online, and so we have to make sure
got it.
that when we open, that we get that product
Off
packaged
the
up
floor.
and ready. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So
So how does like breakdown of online sales versus store sales? I'm sure it fluctuates throughout the year, but
yeah.
do you lean towards more online?
No, it's still mostly in store.
Okay.
I really want to grow the online, and so
Yeah.
that's something that's next year that we're going to like really focus on and like really get more analytical
Yeah.
about it. Because right
Yeah.
now I don't really do a lot of the analytics.
Don't dive
and stuff.
into that side
Not
of-
really. Or
Sounds
even
familiar.
or even doing
Yep.
like funnels and stuff. You know, I've read about all that stuff,
Sure.
and I've got my ideas, but I just haven't done the follow through on it.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yep.
I think this year we'll really focus on that because I really do want to. I mean, I think it's like a security knowing too that I have all these online sales to make my business work and in store.
Sure.
Because if we have to close again, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
we
almost
can
have
at least do online. You know, so
prepare for
prepare
what could
for it,
happen
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Now that we know what's possible,
I know.
Right.
could,
Yeah.
who knows what.
Yeah.
Is that the next big focus for you, being a little broader reach and then scale online?
Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we've talked to lots of people, and some people are more analytical and into the sales funnels and things like that, and they get it and they love that.
Yeah.
And then some people are more mission, vision, feel it out sort of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And which way would you say you lean?
Oh, definitely just
Feel it out.
feel it out.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think people think we plan out our marketing stuff a little bit more than we do.
It does
Right.
look like you do.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, it's mostly like I'll be like going through the new stuff that's releasing in the morning. Oh, this looks like I could call this, whatever. So I just come up with the collection name and we throw it out there. But I mean, we can get a lot done in a day. Like my girls are amazing. Like
Sure.
we can get 3 huge boxes of stuff in. unpackage all of it, add it into the system, tag it, steam it, take photos of it, you know, like do this whole thing in a day and have it all out the next day. So, yeah, I don't know, we just kind of wing it a lot of times, which works for us. I do have my sales goals every day.
Sure.
And so that does inspire me to like, oh, this is my goal today. How can we get people in to make that goal today?
Yep.
Or how can we get people online to make that goal today? So, I mean, I do use that as kind of like to get my head kind of going as like, okay, this is what we need.
Sure.
But yeah, it's kind of more just what are we feeling, and some sort of idea will pop up and we're like, let's go with that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So.
Are you still the one that's doing primarily all the design work for
for graphics and
graphics
stuff?
on
Yeah.
email
Yep.
or social media
Yep.
or whatever it might
Yep.
be?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It looks awesome.
Thank you.
And you enjoy it.
Love it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of it. I need to take like a graphic design class because I learned Photoshop at Unity when I worked at Unity.
Yeah.
Angela had taught herself, and then she had just kind of showed me, well, this is kind of what you do. And so I've just kind of like been self-taught.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm sure I could do much better, quicker if I just took a class. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I would like to because I love it.
Yep.
If
love
you
that
find a
creative
good
part
one,
of
you
it.
let me know because I'm in the same boat.
Are you?
I could
I'm in the
use
same
some
spot with
refresher.
video where
Yeah.
like you kind of get, you know, in those programs you get comfortable with the tools that you use and kind of the way you work it. But I always
Yeah.
feel like there's probably 90% of it out there that would make my life faster
Yeah.
or make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
learning more of the tools.
Yep. Absolutely.
But it's when do you? I've looked at like some online courses and I'm never sure if they'll look good or if
I
they'll
know.
actually work or how am I going to have time to do that,
Yeah. It always
Yeah.
gets pushed to the back end of the priority list, pretty
Yeah.
much.
right?
Yep.
So the current space that you're in, is that full occupancy now? Because I remember touring it when you just got the store up and running,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like where now the juice,
Yeah.
where WYSIWYG is now,
Yep.
was just an empty space. So
Yep.
I know you had like a vision for what you wanted it to be.
Yeah. So I have a third space. That'll be on the north side, kind of north corner there. That I just had new flooring put in now, but I do have someone in there just for the month using it as office space.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
But then I think we kind of need it for like photos. We've
Sure.
been trying to do photos in the store, or if it's nice out, we'll come out, use Halverson's white wall.
Yep.
But we really do want to have like a space
studio.
set up inside. And that was actually, Marty Carlson had her photo
Oh, cool.
studio there before she had her place on Progress, or on
That frontage,
the frontage
road.
road.
Yep.
Okay.
So
How big is that space?
1,800 square feet.
Okay.
So
The one on Frontage Road? You're talking?
No,
the
my
one that's
third
now.
space. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think we'll use it for urban, but also for like events, have warehouse sales. I do want it to be like a community like space where people can rent it out if they want to have like a yoga class or a workout class.
Sure.
A place if you want to have a bridal shower or a baby shower or just a little party. Because I don't know, there isn't that much space around here for that kind of stuff.
No.
So that's kind of my vision. We'll see where that goes. It needs a lot of work yet, so kind of trying to
One step
save
at a
up
time.
money for that.
Yep. Yep.
Because I envision having, some double doors on this side and some windows put in. So
Cool.
kind of work on that as we can.
Yeah.
So when you left Hutchinson, or when you made the transition here, it's now been 6 years since that. How?
Well, it's been longer, hasn't it?
Did you leave in 2014?
So nope. So I was there till 2016,
Oh, 2016. Okay, so you
maybe 2015.
Anyway,
Okay.
five-ish
five-ish years. When you first opened UrbanEscape, you may have had some goals, or an idea of where you wanted to be. How does now compared to 5 years in compared to what you kind of hoped 5 years would be?
Good question.
I'm still amazed that I own that building. Like I still am like.
You drive by and you're like, that's
Yeah,
mine.
I'm like, I'm
That's
still
a big building.
I can't believe I did that. So I'm really happy with where we're at. But I'm still a bigger dreamer, so I still dream of bigger things. Like I want our online to be so big that I eventually need to have a separate warehouse somewhere else.
Yeah.
That
Oh, wow.
we have inventory
Okay.
in, and so. Yeah, I'm a big dreamer. So
You want to be
keep dreaming.
What's is it more than regional? Like, what's the big dream? Is it national brand?
Probably national.
Yep.
Yep. I've toyed around with the idea too of opening more locations, but now
my next.
but now now with like
Square footage is not as valuable as it was 3
and
months
so
ago.
and then with COVID and things having to close here, so it's like online is safer right now.
Yeah.
Right.
It definitely puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's the online is what we're going to focus on now the next.
Yeah, if
few
you look
years.
at some of the retailers that have gone national from smaller stores too, it's their online gets so big that they're like, you know what, we need some other place to store product, so we'll open another location. It'll have a retail side, but
Yep.
mostly it's 70% like
Yeah.
warehouse side.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be somewhere not in the middle of nowhere, somewhere close to like a city,
Yeah.
cheaper shipping and things like that.
Yeah.
So that would
Yeah.
be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we do make some of our own like products that we call unique to UE that we design and print
Yeah.
and whatever. And we've thought of possibly getting into wholesale and doing that wholesale too. So,
Man.
yeah.
Do you design all those then? I imagine too.
So, yep. We do team meetings where what's your ideas? We kind of jot them down. Coral's done a few.
Okay.
And then Jake that prints them, he'll throw in his ideas too. So it's
Sure.
just kind of everything we do, I feel like is just a team effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not one person does everything. And
But you're
all that,
definitely the
but-
leader of the team.
Yeah.
How would you describe like your leadership style?
Yeah.
That's a big question. So you don't strike me as a dictator, micromanager.
Right. And definitely not like
I do not like
super vocal.
I don't like micromanaging.
Yeah.
Like I'm more of a, okay, this is my idea.
What do you think?
What do you think? Yeah. And I've always wanted the girls to love their job. And so I've always tried to just make it fun while we're working, I don't know, leadership. I don't know if that would be a lot.
That's amazing leadership.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. No, I feel like I do expect a lot of the girls. Like we get a lot done in the day, but then I feel like I also, I try to reward them with things. We'll go out to eat together. I'll have, our morning meetings. I'll like bring them, little treats or, I just always want them to know that I'm very grateful for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I treat them how I've always wanted to be treated as an employee. So,
Right.
yeah.
As a boss, as a business owner that has people that work for them, I've talked to a couple of your employees, and they say that they love their job there. What does it mean to you as kind of like the owner of a place or leader to know that you have people that love their work?
It makes my heart so happy. Like
the
it
ultimate
literally
goal.
does. It is
Yeah.
the ultimate goal because I can leave now and know that my store is in good hands.
Yeah.
Right.
I left 4th of July weekend, which I've never, ever, ever done before. And so the girls, Maddie and Chloe, were there running the show on Friday, and they had the best time. They loved it. It's good for me to be gone, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Give them the ownership of,
Yeah. Which is
doing all of
another
these
form
things.
of like being a good leader.
100%.
Yeah. But I mean, I had people that had told me afterwards that they had gone in and they were like, well, they were having such a great time and they were handling everything so well. And that just makes me so happy. And then I had messaged them that night that just thank you for, such a great
Yeah.
day. Sounds like you guys did such a good job. And they were like, we had so much fun. And I'm like, how amazing is that
Yeah.
they're
That is
working and
pretty
that they are having so much
pretty
fun.
special.
Yeah.
Right.
And that energy is just like, customers can feel that when you walk in if you want to be there or not.
Absolutely.
And so I think that energy just, flows throughout the store. It flows through our Instagram and social media. And it's kind of, energy is a thing. Even when we get new
100%.
product in, I'm like, if we're all excited about it, our customers are going to be excited
Yeah.
about it,
Yep.
You can tell.
Yeah. Yep.
I think
So-
what you're naturally good at because of how you are as a person, but sometimes larger organizations lose that. And when you stop focusing on making people love their jobs, they don't love them. And then they kind of will not cut corners, but they won't
Right.
go the extra mile to make it the right
Absolutely.
thing or go above and beyond. But when you have employees like yours that love what they do, if something isn't exactly right, like they make it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
They care almost as much as you.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty unique.
Yeah,
Right.
and so many of them have become, we've become friends with so many of our customers, and they've created relationships because of working there. And so, you know, people come in and it's like we all get to hang out with our customers because it's just fun to see them, you know. So it's created so many good relationships with our community too that everyone loves.
Right.
One question I had for you, Erin, was what do you do to get inspired and like fill your cup as far as new ideas for the store go? Like, who do you look towards? What are some brands that kind of stick out to you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram a lot.
Yeah,
I'm very inspired by Instagram. There is a boutique called Riff Raff that I follow.
Okay.
And the owner had started her business much like I have. On consignment and stuff. And so I kind of look to them, you know, so there are boutiques that I look at that I'm like, oh, I like how they do that. Or, you know, I read a lot of different self-development books, things like that.
Any that you would recommend?
Yeah.
Or that you've read recently that you like?
Trying to think what Infinite Mike Dooley. Have you ever read anything from him?
Nope.
Infinite Possibilities. I remember when I was trying to get the loan for the building, it was like that was a long process.
Sure.
Because I had, it was like a few years. But anyway, it was just always on my mind. And I'm like, is this going to work? Is it not? You know, and I had read Infinite Possibilities at that time. And I really enjoyed that book. It's just positive thinking and stuff. I'm trying to think what else.
Are you a podcaster in general? You listen to podcasts?
Yep. Yeah.
Which do you like?
Well, I've been listening to you guys lately.
Oh boy.
She's like, what am I getting myself into?
I better listen to this crazy.
No, I love it because it's like natural, just conversations, and I love it. But I love listening to business podcasts and self-development. So, Entrepreneurs on Fire, John Lee Dumas.
Oh,
Yep.
I've not heard of that one.
Oh,
Yep.
he's been around for quite a while
he has.
too. So I really enjoy his. I listen to Gary Vee.
Excellent.
If I want to get really pumped up for something and get
Yeah.
myself going,
Right.
like, I need to get this done.
You know it's going to be some kind of day when you're like, I got to throw on some Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Right? I need someone to swear at me.
Yes.
I'm
Exactly.
the same way.
But yeah, and then I do for podcasts. I have a lot of like meditation ones I listen to at night too. It's hard for me to like shut my mind off at night, and so I've been trying to do like a lot of meditation.
I was going to ask you about that because it's super necessary to unplug, you know, a little bit. How do you deal with the stress? I mean, you gave one answer a little bit, but there is stress. And how do you kind of manage that and how do you unplug for yourself?
Yeah. So meditation has been really good, and I don't even like have to sit and, you know, do that whole cross your legs and whatever. I'll just, even if I'm just, you know, walking, I'll listen to meditations a lot when I'm walking.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's just certain words can just make you feel better. You know, if you hear something that's like calming and just a way to flip the switch a little bit. If you are anxious about something, it just to switch your mind.
Give you some perspective.
Yeah. So I'll walk around town a lot.
See, that's why she's walking. It's productive.
Right.
Yes.
No, I was also driving around a lot when COVID happened. I had to get out and would just drive. But walking, jogging, yoga. I do like doing yoga. And then, just trying to find something fun to do to get my mind off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just doing some sort of activity.
Once you find something, I feel like that's able to, you realize that we're not thinking about work. Finally, you're like,
Yes.
I got to keep that thing in my schedule because it's so healthy.
Even a
for
reminder
me.
to just go out with friends
Yeah.
and laugh and
Right.
Yes.
have a good time, and not, because even when I am walking up, a lot of times I will still be dwelling on it, and
Yes.
so just remove yourself from the situation somehow, and I guess that would
very
be the best
healthy,
way
but
to-
it's super hard.
yeah.
I mean, I can imagine running businesses is of any sort of scale is just hard to separate.
Yeah, and because everything falls on ultimately on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So anything that happens is ultimately my responsibility.
Right.
And I take that. I know that. And
part of the game.
It's part of the game. And so it is stressful, but it's part of it. Yeah.
So, of the portions of the work that you do, if you're going to grow and try to kind of go more national and accomplish some of those goals, people get it. We're outside. And,
Yeah.
you know,
It's like
I'm
tapping the
always
horn.
distracted. Yep.
I
Okay.
am
Sorry.
very-
This was going to be a
very
good
easily
question.
distracted.
Yeah,
I
it
felt
was.
it. Yeah, it was.
Let's hope it gave me more time to prepare. What are the skill sets that you think you need to add to get to that point, like to really get there?
Skill sets.
I mean, what
I
kind
need-
of people would you hire, like that you need to add so that you can get to the? I mean,
Yeah. I think I love so many parts of my business that it's hard for me to just focus on one thing. I think if I would just focus more on just doing like just the marketing and just, figuring out the analytics and all of that, that would be huge.
sure.
But and then probably I don't have to be on the floor that much right now, but probably more stylists and then splitting up some of their duties even so that we can all kind of we spread ourselves pretty thin right now. So yeah.
Sure.
Probably I would like to have, more of a marketing team, I guess. We
Yep.
could probably get more done then,
Right.
Like if we can really grow this online, then more of a marketing team. 'Cause I mean the marketing takes a lot of time, and even just replying to social media questions and
Oh
stuff.
gosh, yeah.
Which, the girls do throughout the day and stuff, and they've been doing the
So
Insta
more people are
stories.
in more hands are in
Yeah.
there.
Yep. So and then the girls will usually do like the stories for the day. We'll split it up into who's doing it. I want everyone to know everybody that's working in the store, and so I want all of their
Yeah.
faces, somewhere on there so that they can get to know all of them.
Because a client or a customer could work with any one of those people when they come in at any time.
Yeah, and I want them to know them and feel comfortable with them, and I want, the girls to feel really a part of this whole business.
Right.
Each one of them are a huge part of it. So
Who's the ideal, like, who's your target demo? If you
I was going to ask that
you
too.
had to
Oh, you have a few
nail
of them.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure you've grown to the point where you have a few, different audiences, but who's the best customer for Urban Escape?
So let's see, not my general target market, but like the one target.
Sure.
Let's see.
Maybe who you're going after right now, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if you're going to go national, you probably have to go a little more narrow.
Yeah. So probably age range. Well, age range is usually, I think for us, I would say this is a big age range, but 24 to 44.
Yeah.
Like pretty trendy, girls that are pretty trendy.
You're good. Don't worry.
Let's see.
What's interesting with social media is that age range, they're so much more alike now than they used to
Yeah.
be. Like everyone's kind of consuming the same things.
Yeah.
Every woman still wants to be 25.
Right. Yeah. I would say trendy, but like kind of still classic at the same time. We have a lot of pieces that can be worn, like are pretty timeless.
And
but
versatile.
but someone that's like, wants to travel a lot and do things and be out and about. I would say that's kind of our target market.
And they live
What-
on Instagram?
Yes, social. Yes, probably Instagram.
Yeah.
Very much on social media. Yeah.
Gotcha.
How do you split up your marketing efforts between social media and other traditional channels?
So one of our best marketing mediums is text marketing.
okay.
That is one thing that, like, if I send a text message out, I'll look at the website and we have,
Just explodes.
Immediate
I
a
can
boost
see
in
how many
traffic.
people are on the website, and it's like, wow, there's that many people on the website right now. Okay,
Yeah.
So I would say even more
When did you
so-
guys start that?
We started when we were at in the O'Neill's location. So it's been a few years, but I ended up switching. And when we switched to a new company, we lost all of our subscribers.
Oh boy.
And so, so now at the new place, I think we've had this one for 2 years. I think I went with a new company after we were at the new space. But yeah, that's like instant gratification. Like we get orders online coming in, people know to come into the store, everyone checks their text messages.
Right.
Yeah.
So like
the open rates are pretty solid. I
yeah,
imagine.
yeah. So like on social media, I mean, maybe they'll see it, maybe not, or
Yeah.
they'll see a post here and there. But
And you
text
don't
messaging,
exactly know, yeah.
it's like immediate. And then I'll send out an email. Not very often. I should probably get better about that. But I produce more of the things that I consume and that I feel like others are going to consume, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So like, I don't open up emails from boutiques that often, so I don't send out a lot of them.
Right.
That's fair. That's good advice.
100%.
I mean,
it's something that
You don't need to do things just to do them and check a
Right.
box. Like, what's the most effective thing, and then let's stick with that. And if we have time for the other things,
but
Yeah.
I would say like the direct to text stuff is very, very like seldom used by companies around here.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's our most efficient, easy, gets the most,
So let's dig into the tactics a little bit for that. Do you like have a promo code on there, or do you have like a certain link that you can
so I can do both. So I'll do different things. I like to at least do like once a month, like text only discount codes. You know, like
Got it.
thank you for being a part of our program.
Yep.
You're getting these messages. They should get something special for being a part of it. You know, so like I try to do once a month. They text only people get a discount code, that they can use in store or online. And then it'll be like if we have new arrivals, and then I'll put a link to like our website.
Got it.
The program I have, I can put a picture, but it's a link to a picture basically. So I don't do those as much because I'd rather just send them to the website and see the same picture on our homepage.
Totally.
You know?
This is a follow-up question to that, though. So they opt in because they're part of the rewards. Like, how do they get?
Yeah. So
I know you have a rewards program because I'm on it. But
Yeah.
how do you get on
And
in the text club?
Our rewards program is totally different than the text club.
Okay.
So the text club, I have it just like a little thing on my Instagram that if you sign up, you get 15% off your entire first purchase. So that's like the incentive to sign up for it.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then in store, we'll promote it. We'll have little posters or little whatever
Tents
marketing
and stuff.
things
Yep.
on the counter to promote it. But yeah, the incentive is to get a discount on your first purchase.
Yeah.
And so then I have a discount code for that on our website. So I can always see, oh, this person just used
signed up
this
or-
discount code. So I know they just signed up for our text program.
Nice. That's
And
smart.
then it's on the top of like a little heading on our website too.
Sure.
And I'll go in spurts of where I really promote that and I don't. So yeah.
Cool.
But it's that's something too, like they talk about, I don't own my social media lists like Facebook and Instagram. If they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
Where I'll always own my text list
Sure.
and my email list.
Yep.
So I would really like to continue to grow my text messaging list because
Sure.
from there I can route them to whatever I need to route them to.
Yep.
And it just speaks to the fact that almost all traffic right now, especially right now, is on mobile. People aren't sitting at a computer as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we're getting to the end of things, I think, Erin.
Yeah. Thank
But
you very much.
One question I
you.
have, like the end question, I think,
Got
is what does success look like for Urban Escape, and how will you know when you get there? How do you measure that?
Ooh, good question.
There's
I don't know if I'll ever feel like I've like gotten there.
Like, I've
'Cause
made
I feel
it,
like I
which
always
is-
just like I always am like I've done this, but now what should we do? Like I love dreaming. I think like having big dreams gives me goals and it motivates me to continue to do what I'm doing. So I don't know if I'll ever feel like there's that one thing. I'll feel really good when I have the building paid off,
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
which will be a while, but I mean that would be amazing. But in general, just like knowing like that I have employees coming in that love their job, like that makes me so happy. The community liking, coming in, liking, knowing that I like that they're shopping there. I guess all of those things kind of make it feel like success. But
And your overall happiness, hopefully.
yeah. No, I love what I do. So I can't say it's easy, but it's so nice to know that you get to do what you love every day.
Yeah.
With people
Yeah.
that you like.
Yeah. There's days where I'm like, okay, you guys, I need to quit hanging out with you and get my work done because if I'm around you, I just want to talk and hang out.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go up in my office and get my work done.
Yep. Yep. That's a good problem to have, I think.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm distracting all of you from doing your work.
Right. It's true.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so
yes,
much,
Yeah,
Erin.
Thank you.
guys. This is really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't painful.
No,
And-
it's fun.
Yeah, good.
Maybe we
Good,
can
good.
have you
That's
on
cool.
again and have like a cocktail hour when we do it.
Oh, I like
Oh, yeah,
that
happy
idea.
hour version. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that.